Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday the 22nd of August. So looking at the euro dollar first, and well, we're pretty close to the point where it's a sort of a make or break really for the euro, I believe. I mean, we've got the momentum coming in a bit more positive. Yesterday, the biggest day of all of these upward days here, but we're just, if I just zoom in a little bit here, we're just short of this 34 and 50 MA. Now, we've seen a bit of a reaction to the air kiss, and it's being quite interesting to see whether we can actually break through those. And of course, this key trend line that I've drawn on here is a significant trend line, so it'll be, if we can break beyond that point, well, we're back towards the monthly pivot there, but any failure to do so, well, could see us correct further to the downside. We'll see how it runs. At the moment, I'm not overly bearish on the euro. It would appear that the retail traders are becoming less bearish on it, which makes me sort of more bullish. So there we are, we'll see. But for now, profits may have been taken by many of these. Hasn't yet hit the daily 50. There may be more upside. Short term may not quite be the case because we've got the daily pivot sitting below us here, which may just draw price down with the high probability of being hit. Now, if that's the case, well, we'll look for movement off of that sort of area, maybe to the upside, and just see how price reacts to it. If we start seeing a bit of a bounce off that long side towards yesterday's high is maybe the R1, but just watch out for that daily 50, etc., to see how it reacts to that in turn. Okay, so lots of things to be watching for if you're trading that euro today, and certainly we could find some retracements from the 50, even if it's a short-term retracement. But as I said, it's a key line in the sand there really. Looking at the pound dollar, and well, it ran up to its daily 21, so it's catching up. Hasn't broken that yet. It's done pretty well there though. It's a good solid day up again, solid momentum in terms of what it's doing there. In terms of the range of the day was good. How we'll react from that, we'll see. Again, we've got potential if it can break through that now to look for the 34 and then the 50, so it has got some upside potential. It is a tad steep on here. The last session at 4 o'clock candle, it pushed up quite strongly, and it was a bit steep, but some consolidation is probably needed again here. We saw it yesterday. We saw this consolidation phase, long old phase. It didn't really kick off until the afternoon there, and it was in a 30 pip range or something like that. It was very, very tight. So where we're sitting at the moment, well, there's potential for it to run down a little bit more towards the daily pivot again. As I say, there's always this probability. We'll just see how it reacts from that sort of area. Already tested the 60-21, so I'm not so worried about that. I say worried about that, but I mean, it may just test it again, and it's been a while, but we'll see. But really looking to see what the reaction of that daily pivot along with the euro at the same time or similar time. Dollar yen. Now, dollar yen moved oddly yesterday. I'll come on to the short-term price action. It took a while before it rolled and strengthened, but it carried on pushing through much longer when it did go. But for now, let's just look at this daily price action, and well, it's bounced back up again effectively through the Asian session. It did come, as I say, it did come off, but has bounced back up, and it's sort of you would expect the other markets. Well, it just looks like a bit of softness in this yen at the moment. Not overly convinced with it yet, but we'll just see how it runs through today. Well, obviously it's already back through its pivot. Now, I was looking for this break yesterday, well, it just didn't happen until really late. It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon before it went. Everything else by about 1 o'clock had started pushing up, and this was pushing up too, which may just suggest there's more money coming out of the yen to go into other things, other riskier trades. But That soon changed again. Well, as I said, it changed later as the pound and the euro carried on pushing us, I guess. We actually saw money going back then into the yen, so a bit of dollar weakness. Now, didn't make the sort of levels I thought it might have either. So it's bounced back up at the moment. Where is it now? Well, this price action is a bit of a, if it gets beyond that yesterday's high, the R1 will be clock registering a higher low. Up until now, we've pretty much been putting lower highs in and lower lows. Now this one, I mean, it's not a confirmed low yet until we break the high there. If it does, well then we just may be switching, and it's probably switching trend. In fact, well, we have to redraw it now, but the trend line across these highs here would have been broken yesterday. So leaving doubt there for me with the dollar yen. Maybe it's the front runner and it's got some further upside to be doing, and that's how it looks at the moment. Aussie dollar reacting here, selling off as well. It's actually hit its 34. I spoke about this yesterday and how similar it is in terms of its price action to the euro a lot of the time at the moment. So it's quite a solid correlation between these two pairings. And selling off at the moment. Again, there'll be reasoning for that in terms of the daily pivot still sitting there. I say still sitting there, but sitting there. Well, it's actually hit its daily pivot. It's actually below, so it's certainly showing a near-term weakness. But this could all change. But again, looking at the trends that are sort of sitting there, I'll come back to the 4-hourly. There's quite a steep trend line running up here, which it looks like it's broken now. So maybe a touch of weakness. Now there's an untouched weekly pivot down here. It could head back towards that. The euro actually triggered and touched the weekly pivot earlier in the week. It gave a nice movement into its current upward direction. Here, well, we got potential for this to pull, but if it does start pulling back and get any sort of momentum, that could be a bigger move for it. But at the moment, looking a bit soft, and certainly softer than the euro relatively. Canadian dollar then finishing up with, and what we've got here then, well, pretty much not a lot really. As a doji candle yesterday, it was continuing to strengthen. It put in a very small day in yesterday. Chop it, and we're just getting into this sort of chop mode again. That was that sort of, there's that sort of odd bit between oil almost giving up the run a little bit, and that's obviously reflecting, but very small range yesterday. If anything, it's still in its it hasn't changed trend yet. It's still got lower highs, lower lows coming through there. There may be a continuation in that move. It's just maybe a big consolidation. A break of the lows from early Asian session and yesterday may see that continuation pushing on further. Just a quick flick of oil, and it's not going to come up for me. Oh, there we are. Some funny price action on this time frame, but there we go. Oil's not really, it's consolidated, not doing too much there. Let's just look at the dailies there, not really doing too much, consolidated in that phase, sitting around. So okay, not a reason to be too fussed on that. So overall then, coming back to the Canadian dollar then, just finish off with that. That's probably why it's not going anywhere either. Possibly it's not seen the same sort of strengthening as the pound and the euro has yesterday. You'd expected that to have come down further. So the weak link may be the Canadian dollar. If we see the pound and euro selling off today, maybe we'll see this move even further, to soften up further. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now.